Hey, what's up, everybody? Metaphysical Mama. Welcome, welcome. Happy Thursday. Um, so I have so much stuff coming in. So welcome, welcome. If you're here for your first time, welcome back, if you're revisiting. Um, and I just want to I guess quickly just do a little kind of introduction. This is not typical uh metaphysical mama, right? Is the platform name. Um, so it's regarding metaphysics, which is a little bit of everything and a lot of bit of nothing, and it may not make a lot of sense in linear form, right? In logical form, how we interpret things. If we're having like a normal conversation, like if I called you up, like, hey, what's up? How you doing today? What'd you have for dinner? Are you working? What'd you do at work? How you feeling? What's going on? Right? That's like 3D not talk, which, I tend to sometimes make fun of on this channel. But it doesn't mean I'm not still that too, right? Like, so it's like, it gets a little tricky. That's why this is on the platform it's on. I don't have this like on my, you know, personal name, which I'm not on there on my personal name anyhow. I really I'm not like part of the human race anymore. Not that I'm not. I don't think I ever really was. I always felt like nanu, a little weird, out of place. Um, but I'm just kidding. But no, but totally, again, uh, we're all different species, right? Walking around in skin, in human skin. Um, so however we were birthed, made, created, grown, have you had the will to live and are here standing in human skin to exist? First of all, like give yourself a pat on the back because however you got brought to be is like your energy, your consciousness, your being had to fight in order to do that. It's like, you know how amazing you are? Truly. But we've been in human construct for so long. It's very hard to look at things in the manner of the way, say, I speak, because I sound like I'm talking like jibber jabber, nursery rhyme, and a little bit of science. And then it's like, what the hell is she talking about? So if someone like, that isn't tuned in to their right twin flame body and their inner ability of manifestation and hasn't allowed spirit in. If they're still, because then they're still coming from ego and science and facts and right Adam and Eve, and which is thought and feeling, and allowing the thought and feeling to run us rather than when we start to like have epiphanies, and this will happen to everybody eventually, right? It's like it's gonna happen to you too. Right? You're gonna either get the virus or you're gonna get the shot, one way or another. Go get it. But it's a DNA upgrade. This is evolution. And anything we've ever learned or anything anybody studies, that's why it's funny to me when people don't comprehend where I'm coming from. Because it's like, well, wait, I thought you all pay taxes, you all worship idols at churches and religions and all these other things, and force your children to listen to you because you listened to somebody else and you have all these facts and information. So I thought you knew everything. This is what you guys have all been preaching and using as your for a long time. So it's confusing to me when we are like, yay, everybody's like finally getting it. And then many are like, arguing or want to come at us or whatever. And it's like, so you guys are the ones that have been falsifying and using all the information, wanting to wear a crown like a king or a queen, holding your hand out or chopping everybody else's off, whatever that all is, right? 444. Applesauce, capitalizing, or say democracy. So what does that mean? Where did that stem from? Metaphysics too is getting to the root of things, the origins. I have another video coming later and I'm going to discuss the Delta variant that they're saying Delta. What are they saying? Or are they just putting information out? And then it's our job to, right, never judge a book by its cover. So it's like, oh, this new book is out, this new movie's out, this new thing is out. Okay, so it's the cover of something, it's the name of something. And then I see all these stories. I was just listening to the news a little bit because, I listen to a little bit of everything. I'm not big mainstream media, but, I got to tap in. Otherwise, I'd be ignorant. So once in a while, when I'm guided to, I check that out too. Or it just happens to pop up on my YouTube. It's like, the YouTube news. mm. So they're talking about the different variants, and there's some doctors on there. Joshua Johnson. Sorry to call you out, but your name's on there like that, so whatever. I'm not like, it's like, yeah, if you have a problem, I don't, we can talk. So Joshua Johnson was the name, and I stayed at 606. Interestingly enough, because again, I got to look up the etymology and the metaphysical meanings and the biblical meanings, all that, right? Joshua tree, right? Johnson and Johnson. They did a lot of sick things to in lotions and talcum powder that we put on our babies for a long time with open pores, right? So there's a difference in like, oh, if we didn't have knowledge of something, and when somebody is using it to create harm and right fear porn and war, there's a difference. But again, I mean, we can't blame. It's like if somebody falls for it, then. But at the same time, because if your intention was to harm or to belittle someone or prey on their innocence, and now too, a lot of people are getting sick because this is karma, crew. So don't feel bad for certain people that are going through certain things. It's like, wait, whoa, 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 whoa. What have they been doing all of their lifetimes? Okay, some they're like, whoa. Don't get so, because that's how they play, right? What does a terrorist do? Plays on your emotional and gullible, vulnerable energy because it's sick. They're sick. There's a sickness. They have sickness. What are they lacking? Love. That's why it's like, great, send love to our enemies, so-called enemies, because are they, or did they, and again, this is right. So we're going to just keep going in circles around and around and keep pointing and blaming and shooting everybody down and shooting everybody up and telling them you got the answers. But you don't, because science continuously shifts and changes. And when you keep jumping on everything because you're freaking out and now you're trying to stop something and call it a challenge, well, hold on. Isn't if you sometimes, right, let go and allow something to, right, take more form and take a look at it, is it bad, or are you freaking out and turning it into something and not allowing it to grow? So it's like you're all beaten up on little Josephus, right? Isn't that like a story in the Bible? Like everybody beat up the, right, and then throw them down a well. Don't they dig for oil, big oil wells in the ocean and subterranean floors and things like that? So when people like to use certain stories and narratives and words to freak other people out, again, think of like, Jack Skellington, and I don't even know if that's so well, but as far as the terms and stuff of things, but it was the oogity boogity or whatever. But there's, jealousy and envy, and there's a lot of also like that's how they play. So, but right, it's like if you have a rambunctious brother or son, and it's like, that's just how they are, right? You gotta have one really calm daughter or son or sister, and then another one is completely different than right you or the other one, the sister or brother, or it's like right, they got their own. We're all different, right? So just because we come from certain bloodlines doesn't mean we are all the same. Just because we have certain skin tones and colors doesn't mean you should label yourself a certain name. That's what's going on for a long time. This is part of the problem. I'm like, it makes me giggle sometimes because I'm like, this morning it was like, great, well, that's what would happen because let us confuse their language. So there's that. So the tribes are all split and everyone's just still arguing because they want to be right about it or not get sick. But you're already sick if you're believing in someone else's truth, not your own, right? Allowing vibration to resonate within. That's where true north is, right? You're never alone. Because wherever we swim out, it's like a wave. You have to come back in and allow thoughts and feelings to marry, right? It doesn't mean Adam, like there's so many different, right, interpretations and what have you regarding. So it's like being able to see things in different perceptions at any given moment by allowing the vibration to come through naturally and talk with you. It's not going to talk to you like, oh, this is the whatever. This means this, blah, 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 blah. No, you have to then use your human brain and your thoughts and feelings that are coming up and get rid of the ones that you don't need, right? It's like canceling out the obvious, right? Like in any numerical equation, right? Well, what doesn't make sense, like right at the now moment. So just let go of whatever doesn't, and then you deal with the rest what's on your plate, right? But it's an imaginary plate, it's an energetic plate. So you have to be able to play with these energies in order to be able to see, but you don't see like this, like, oh, right here you go. Here's that. There's that. Here you go. You want to be served? Here you are. Okay. Everybody wants to be served like a king or queen, or just be given a whole bunch of things, you know. And learning to have patience is real important, motherfuckers. You know, it's like I realize more and more how rude. You know, when I speak on here, and I tend to sometimes 12:21, you could hear me obviously get like da 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 sometimes, right? Like the firing range. Which again is another terms of usage, a term of electricity, right? Usage of word. Like electricity doesn't travel through wires. It travels through air, water, semiconductor, right? As to travel through positive and negatives, that's why it's airborne. What is a virus? As soon as we have a thought and a feeling and it's spit out, especially if we speak it out, right, with our double slit devil tongue, which is our physical human one, right? Capricornus is physical skin. And again, that goes back to Adam and Eve again, right? So it's like, because metaphysics is what does the word mean? And then how many things does it relate to? And then bring it back to you, in you, through you, and then whoop, let it go, puff, puff, pass, right? It's like, don't hold on to it so much. It's like, this is where I underwater, you know, then you're wearing that mask and skin too much. And there's 3 levels of consciousness that we, right? Subconsciousness, which is right unknown, like the mystery zone. It's like in the cerebral cortex of the brain, right? Way down under, like a cone. But that come up and that always is seen. And then we make decisions with our, right, positive, negative atom in the temple, right? It's like David Solomon, right? Or Star Wars. It's like chung, 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 right? Shooting out of our temple, positive and negative thoughts, right? 1414. And our emotional body, like Omicron, means little o, little ho. Just seriously, little o, which is like our saltwater body inside our physical one. That's the semi-conductor of electricity, right? Salt water conducts electricity too. That's the emotional body, that the negative energy that's traveling up constantly through our pyramidical body, our Merkaba, right? It comes up and travels, mixes with the emotion, creates an emotion, birds emotion in us, and then the wave can come up overhead, right? And or other people's emotions from outside and thoughts, Adams and Eve are being coming, right, traveling around. That's what we call the world, right? As the world turns, the world keeps swirling around and around. But that consists of our thoughts and feelings that come up and travel through from the underground. And they go up to the sky, and they just keep traveling out and around over and over again, right? And then magnetically are attracted to you and I, right? Universe. You and I, right? The first. The universe is one. So as the thoughts and the feelings are traveling through, and then they magnetically connect, right? Like attracts like. Is a deep one. We're getting super metaphysics. This is a lot of quantum mechanics, quantum physics, comprehending the vibration of our thoughts and our feelings and the words that we have invented, right, in order to have a language to speak, communicate, and share and describe, right, the scribes of the tribes writing things down in order to, right, keep things alive, right? Adam and Eve, mother of the living, and Thoth is scribe, writes with hand. So yeah, keep things alive. The dead you can't see. Oh, that's so good. Oh, it's such a good revelation right now. Happening together in front of you and me through whatever's going on. I hope you can you feel it? Okay, and 17 on the nose. Methy. Tote. Okay, okay, wait. Yeah, the living, right? Keeping writing. So the 3D human puts things on, right, paper with pen and writes things down, or right, printing press used, right, before, previous to, right, I'll be offended if they're just rhyming, the writing whores that use what? Now ink comes from, we go see, this is where we dive into lots of rabbit holes. Where does ink come from? Right? Can come from, right? Octa Osi. Weird. Goose. Remember Top Gun? I do prefer still to write with lid. I like to write with pencil instead. It depends, so I find nice pens once in a while, and I'm like, oh, I love this pen, how it writes. But eventually, yeah, it's like, no, I really do. I still like writing with my pencil. I like writing with a pencil if I'm gonna write. And but yeah, many things previous to that were all done by verbal, how I'm right now, how we're able to make videos and what have you, right? Stories, his story, her stories are passed down. Like, right, when don't we all get together collectively, like either in your mind or when people are sitting down to have dinner or lunch or have a meal anytime, right? When you're sharing a meal, sharing any meal is sharing thoughts and feelings about different things, and, right, communicating back and forth in order to, right, grow more abundant in our knowledge and in our within ourselves. Again, the garden starts within. If we're this is like my tree of, right, we're like walking trees, literally. All right, these are different references to, like, right, the plant kingdom, the animal kingdom, obviously the mineral kingdom, the plant kingdom, the animal kingdom, right? The elementals, that's all here before, right? In the beginning, the earth was void. It was void. It was formless. There was no form. Before, how do you get to one? Not, oh, here's one. I want that one. What do you want with that? Oh, that one didn't turn out the way I like. So see, that's how the atoms have been gambling and using, right, slaves slash wives slash whatever else, everything. The raping and molesting of Gaia and all her children, born, unborn. Then you try, like what you're doing now, try to harm them still so that they're not able to develop into their true self and live. And key also that word, the right, the en, what does that represent? En, slave. So if somebody's using, like if somebody comes from the roots of something and then they're using that to try to, it's like somebody, ready? Let us make them in their image. So it's like if somebody, like how they do that now too, right? Look at all the ways that they take our faces and use, like they could put it on another body. Like look what they did, right? That thing with my friend was sharing out with me last night with Obama and whatever. It's like you make him Obama say like, you know, what up my dog or whatever. Like you can make anybody look like they're doing or saying anything, right? Not just on paper. We got like, right, digital. But water is always recording. Not all copies. That's all mimic and copy in the image of the divine, right? That's like the keys too. Those are keys because it shows you also like find it. Then now go to find the divinity, and it's like okay, that's how. So that mimics that. It doesn't make it necessarily bad. It's just it's a equation. It's a formulation, a formula, right? That creates form, vibration and numbers, math, and right feeling. Oh, right, consciousness creates things, right? People, places, and things. Uh, most just don't slow down enough to comprehend and right understand these things. And how can we until we get there? We can't possibly understand like what the fuck I'm saying right now. I wouldn't it's like we can't comprehend certain things until we're obviously until we're ready to hear them. It's like getting put in like, calculus, but you never learned how to do basic math. Well, how are you going to possibly have any, right? Um, now, however, don't get me wrong, because most of, I'm going to say super intelligence comes from not being directed by another's forced programming telling you that this is what is and what, because then that's like we get confused because we're being told by, right? I don't know. Oh, they want me to cite the land of Jews. You could, oh God. All right. Jeez. Listen, I ain't got nothing against anything. Just man makes words and attaches feelings and thoughts to them so that it's like, that's me what they say. And then that turns you into a patriotic patriarch, a patriot, arc, which are two very egotistical sins. Because then that puts us in an over, right, policing position of entitlement or then a feeling of lack. And then one feels guilty or bad and then hides shit behind their back. So it's like a whole energetic pattern of, right, behavioral, psychological, emotional, right? It's like, maybe your waiter, bartender, please. Right. So all the different like motions I'm making and stuff too is because I really when I follow the energy we don't see. So I'm doing it right in front of you. So because that's what spirit you do, like a freaking marionette. Anybody else feel like a puppet? Kermit the Frog here. Ah, I'm more like animal. I really am nice though. You know, super. But I ain't no motherfucking honeybee. I tell you that. I don't operate in a hive. Allergies to bees. And don't get any ideas. I already did all that. Like right, we all had preparation for like all of you too cool for everybody like pandemic crew. And it don't make us better than you. It's just like what is it with the story with the gods that and it ain't funny. And it really ain't because it's also they have higher knowledge than we do, so they have to do whatever they have to do in order for our emotional bodies to grow. It's fucked up. So it is what it is. I don't even give a fuck. I do. I mean, it's like not that I don't give a fuck, but I don't in the matter that listen, right? No pain, no gain. So we have to be more playful with the way that we go through things and think, right? Like, George, I can't breathe. Part of the virus is not being able to breathe. Okay, a lot of these are hints. It's like they're right in your face. Everybody wants to have a mask on. Be like, oh my God, they didn't have a mask on. I don't think they got a shot. Do you think they got their vaccine? Now, I started a doctor this morning, again, like I was saying, referencing whatever I was watching before I came on here. I had to turn it off because I was like, okay, I'm getting hot. I don't want it's like so I had to do a little like, yeah, before I came and said, hey. Because otherwise I would have had that, I would have carried that energy with me, which it's obviously still in here. So again, another interpretation of comprehending how we operate, right, as a people. We hold on to things, they linger, they hang around. If it's been said or we heard it, or it comes from the silence of the underground, which is that bad and scary? I mean, under the ground is where all the minerals in the soil is that any of the seeds that, like we are too, grow up toward the sun, right? To stretch and reach for the stars, right? So again, we as humans, and then with what we do with material and physical things, with our physical, we it's like we come from divinity, we forget, we are born and it's a baby, we right, wah, wah. We cry when we get upset because we don't know how to communicate. So then we learn words little by little. Then we start to like and not like certain things. And we let our mommies and daddies know when we will or won't eat something, right? We start to have an ego, right? We start to make choices of what we do and do not like. So that's built us up until where we are now in this human life. So it's not like I'm like a human, whatever. It's just part of us that's an addict, an alcoholic, a thief, a liar, confused, immature, makes ultimatums, operates off the gut, lust, desire. So no bad. It's just like great, like anything else. Like great. It's just we're kids when we're in a human, when we're bopping around in our we've been and we think we're too cool, so cool, and we know everything. And like there's like right, you can make money or you have some kind of whatever walk of life you have or haven't experienced. Right. It's not like great. It's just right. It's just indifferent, which also gets into the Delta variant. Right? What's the delta? That's a business term, right? To compare two states of being, two things. vaccinated, non-vaccinated? Or how are these certain people going to react, right, when we put this story out? When we send out this pre-scripted narrative. Now it's the same as 1941 and a lot of other numerological vibrational frequencies that we call years but are not linear. Daughters and sons. There's like atoms and Eves. Because as we're coming into, and I say that very playfully, and I'm still getting that too. And like it's like I don't know shit. I just play. Spirit just talks through me. I'm just channeling. That's why this again, channel metaphysical mama. So as I'm channeling information, sometimes it gets very overwhelming. This is also what they describe in the Bible and all other ancient texts and apocryphas and what have you of the flood, right? We're being rained down all this cosmic information. So when some of us, it's 10-2 don't make sense, because most are used to mainstream. I said, and that's okay. I've never been mainstream though. I've always, right, anyway, I've always been like abstract but I've always also gotten along with like whoever, whatever, because I don't judge. It's like when I was like young in school, I talked to everybody. Even when I was like in the time that I was in high school, I never was like, oh, I'm only going to talk to such and such people. I spoke to and had very good friends in all the little so-called cliques and what have you, people that weren't in cliques at all. I mean, it's like, hanging out with people that have so-called physical disabilities or, they like back in the day wore hearing aids and stuff sometimes. Like, and people are mean to people like that or that are a little like, awkward. I was always, and not like out of like, oh, like thinking I'm like, no, because it's like, because other people suck and I'd rather fucking hang out with them than you. You think you're better than them for some reason. I'd rather hang out with them. At least they're real. They know how to fucking feel. They don't just want people to think that they ABC. They don't want to just put the presentation and the projection of as they know they have stuff to deal with it and they don't even have a choice to cover it up. Now it's like we've come so very far away from that. But what has been a lot of those reasons that we've all experienced those things? It's like, were you nice to are you nice to people that are less fortunate than you in some kind of manner? Or are you one of the too cool for you crews? So you're like, and you like to be, that makes you feel better. That just means that you don't feel good about yourself. So that made you feel better because you just picked on someone that you thought or think of as less than. So what does that make you? Like I have no, like that's like you're just the big bully that the lunch money taker. You're just a bully. So it's like okay, like okay. And like whenever you're done, since you seem to need, want, and have to have so much attention. I mean, these are all the brilliant assholes that are running our fucking world. And everybody's like, oh, well, but you got to. Okay, little cheerleading dick suckers. Okay. That want the jock strap of every dude on the fucking gladiator on the football field. And that was just a term of like, how long do you see those relationships ever last? I mean, even in the movies, a lot of time, like the oldie relationships, again, like twin flames, these are, because people that are naturally bonded together and I've like been for like, sometimes that happens, like, um, It's real important to connect with your roots. A lot of people feel offended right about too, like they say like the other beings are trying to like harm this say nuclear family. No, you guys tried to enforce slavery and marriage and make it look like a good thing a long time ago. And it's not, it's a bad thing. It's a great, beautiful thing. It's just, again, if there's not awareness to how others are, you know, again, the presentation of something, anybody that's trying to present anything to you and like, or force, do they have a good intention? I mean, just ask yourself that. Is what they're doing good for me? Is what they're saying good for me? Just that's it. Does that resonate with me? Not is it good or bad? Is it good for me? Meaning, do I want that right now? It's like sometimes we feel like we need to eat, right? Like you feel like you need to eat certain vegetables because it's like your body's lacking that mineral. Why do you feel like you need to have certain things at certain times? How does time work? It's fluid. So when we have to make a choice or right something that we need in a certain moment, how does time operate with us? It's like, I feel like I really need that right now. I need something refreshing and nutritionist, right? That's gonna like nutri. I can't talk. That's gonna feed my body in a nutritional value, right? Give me the nutrients I need, so my body is like, woo, right? So like maybe right, a nice cup of tea, like how I make on here sometimes, or like a really awesome smoothie, you know, where you got like blueberries and strawberries and a little coconut and chia seed and a little pineapple juice and a little almond milk or coconut milk. I like the almond coconut blend. Just did that. I don't always put that in, but I felt like that might be kind of a little yummy. I was just creating in my head, inventing, making, making. So how do we make things? How do we make things up? Did that sound good? Could you like feel, did any of those, like strawberry, mango, pineapple, blueberry? I didn't say mango the first time. I added it the second. Right? Little agave, chia seeds, maybe a leaf or two of basil and a dash of thyme, right? Because the properties of the herbs do magical things. Actually, not magical, divine, right? They work in tandem, in sync with our body. Ginger, ginger right here. So good for you. So good for your digestive system. So good for your third eye. So good for psychic attacks. So good for if you have, like, say, a tummy ache. Why people drink ginger ale, right? Ginger. No, ginger. They're like, wow. They're making jokes behind my shoulder. They're making fun of me. Spiritually. So that you can feel the energy. Oh, okay. How do you listen to spirit? They're like, okay, so you ever walk, say, into like a donut shop or into a coffee shop or into any place, work, home, school, anywhere. A friend's house you're supposed to go visit, right? Oh, come hang out. And now your friend and their slash, right, other half, lava or whatever, just had an argument. So you walk into the house. Now, did you see anything that was going on? Did you hear anything that was going on? I mean, maybe you did, maybe you didn't, but let's say for shits and giggles, you didn't hear anything. You didn't see anything. The only thing that you know is you're so excited to go over to your friend's house and have dinner with her and her, right, newfound beau or chick or however, right? Other, so just giving an example. So, right? So we're all, so, but now when you walk in, You knock at the door and nobody answers. And you're all excited. But when they open the door and she's like, smiles, but can you tell when someone is like was happy but now they're not? Do they have to tell you all the reasons why, or can you just kind of witness it, see it, feel it, have awareness of it, right? You're interpreting the energy. Your body of water is, right, reading the energy that's coming off of theirs. And when we're going through something that's disruptive, our face may say one thing, but we're like, right? So it's not matching what's going on because there's stuff going on that we are still processing or in the middle of, or that's still having an effect on us, right? I hope I'm breaking it like that. I hope this is uh, coming through to a theater near you clear enough. Because I know it can be very wavy. It's like I do my best to be as like simplified as possible, but it's like that's why it's like kindly take what resonates and leave the rest, because if it's like, again, like what we're just talking about, resonation, that's resonation, not resignation. I quit. We just let go of what doesn't no longer serve us, right? And we cancel out, right, probabilities of certain things are right. It's like, okay, that's a probability. We want to cancel out the things that are like, right, like automatically, like, but right, things get cut off, killed, destroyed. That's kind of the interpretation of the acronym, one of them, of the word God, right? Generator, OG, the OG over here, and then the little O, Omicron, me right in the middle. O is an operator, right? The semi-conductor. So whatever's coming in from, right, the God, from inner outer perspective, right? G, generating whatever's being generated, that's God, right? In, out, all around. Right? If they're trying to say kill God, that means they're trying to kill you. They don't want you to rise into the divinity that you are and have awareness of you. Right? Here we go. Over in the garden, there was a serpent telling all those thoughts and feelings out there. You should take a look at yourself, and right, because you are the Adam and the Eve and the tree and the serpent also, right? All those things, right? It's like, what should I do? What should I do? What do I do? So as right, operator, the little O in the middle, and then D, right? Destroyer. So it's like with anything, it's like, okay, well, should I do this or should I do this? Right? I'm not going to do that right now. So I just cut that off. I just killed it. I just destroyed that, right? That thought and that vision, because I was like, because my energy is pushing me in this direction right now. Right? So I just made a decision. I made a choice in the moment. I went with this one for now, objectively speaking. Right? Like here, which actually I'm going to go on this side now. I changed my mind. Am I allowed to do that? Are we allowed to do that? Absolutely, right? We have free will, right? So it's like, I was going to do that, but I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to make some time. I'm going to come over on this side. And I'm going to actually pick up my indigo deck this time. So now I made a decision to pick something up and use it to share. Right now I actually am. I'm doing it. Now I'm doing it. Now I'm doing it. 4. Doing it right in front of you. right? So here, hey spirit, let's have a nice clear oh, whatever you want us to see. I don't really ask too much. It's just like, just show me what you want me to see, because otherwise I'm trying to manipulate it too much. See, that's how I really, really just allow energy to. Did you see all this when go dumping? Well, look through the situations what I have left in my hand, in the left hand here. With the decision we made to pick these up. Looking through the looking glass, Alice. Instead of just jumping up and down holes, as above, so below, as above, so below, like a little gopher. I'll get it. Okay. Satan's little host. Hostesses with the mostesses. All right. Believe in yourself. Expression and friendship is hanging out underneath. Right? So really being expressive and creative of yourself. Your divinity is using your creative aspects and your masculine, right? Intelligente, intelligence. And then what we're God given are tools to not allow those that keep trying to enforce, enslave. As soon as you come at me or anybody with an ultimatum or with fear, you already rocked the cradle, you already raped, and you already robbed. And if you think any different, well, that's why Jesus put a whole bunch of demons in pigs. I guess they're still there, right? We'll just call them, right, the blobby, the slobs, which is what it is, land of greed. So look what fell though. So when they all went cascading down, that divine timing is what popped out. Learn something new. And definitely, like when you start to freak out about certain words, so to speak, right? Here, you are understood. Spirit does understand you. Spirit's not confusing. Anything that's confusing, that's like what I was just going to refer to. Anything that brings up like a negative feeling or like a, right, like, or we're careful, not careful. Sorry, I keep trying to correct myself too. I hate that word. Not I hate it. It's just, right, try to become more aware, right, observative of when you start to feel, right, it's like that, the rumble within, anxiety, right? Every emotion is attached to an organ of the body, right? Plays a different tune. So if it's imbalanced, then right, we're gonna feel it on some level, right? So that's when we have to, in order for us as a people to truly heal, we have to slow down, right? What does that word mean? Heal, right? Heal, like what we say to a dog, heal, which again, generator, operator, destroyer. If we're going too fast, the dog's running, right? Backwards, God is dog, right? And we're running around, we're chasing our own tail, right? Around the sun, going around the solar system. That's the only one. That's the only one. That's only one. But once we start to slow down, because we've been spinning for so long on that fucking merry-go-round, once your marbles come back in, like, so you ever spin around too many times and you're like, whoa, so then you stop, but you're still spinning, even though you're standing still. It's like you need a second to, otherwise, like, right, or like when they do pinata, right, blindfold, you spin you around, you're like or pin the tail on the donkey, right? It's like yeah, right. So it takes a second to gain your equilibrium back, right? The balancing of the scale. So, or like when people what's that called? Vertigo, right? Vertigo video. That's a good Rush song. I have to put that on after. So when we're at imbalance, that's really the true definition of dis-ease. So it's not necessarily, right, bad. It's just we're out of tune. Something's off. or something is affecting us, right? Internally, right? A thought and a feeling, right? Whether we came up with it, it came up, or it kind of rained down, or someone else said it, right? Or we heard it around town, right? Or right, the noose, NOOSE, the news. Again, right? They anchor. What's an anchor? Right? These words, etymology. What's an anchor on the news? Right? They anchor information that's been pre-scripted, right? They're reading off of a teleprompt. So, how many different stations are saying the same exact scripted quack, quack, quack narrative? But that doesn't mean that they're bad either, right? It's like, oh, the story of the book is, so what's our job? It's like, this is where, right, if we want to fight for our lives, we have to be more playful and stop just like taking everything at surface value. Why do things keep getting inflated? Because supply and demand. Well, what makes people want, right? Demand that feeling of, right? Well, why do they have it and I don't? How many people paid for, right, new iPhones like when they first come out? Them things are like a new fucking car. That's like car payment. I'm gonna pay to be spied on every minute. I'm gonna pay real good, damn it. Show you how much I can pay. I'm rich. How about you? Okay. I'm just teasing. I'm just making a funny example, right? But and look at that too, right? Like something new's about to come out, something borrowed, something blue. Everybody wants something new. The new, you get a new car. It's like everybody's on the Price is Right. Um, how many people wait in line when something they like, like, well, can't eat, can't sleep, can't breathe. They're like dwelling on it. Like, I can't wait to get it. I gotta get it. I gotta have it. Gotta get it. Gotta get it. I need it now. It's like Baruka from Willy Wonka. I want it now. Now, Daddy. So when we're in that, which we all can get in that moment of feeling too. But so I'm just making fun. But how much do you spend? And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, now you can get one free, get free year at Apple TV, right? They're gonna come up with a whole bunch of things to entice now, also, which is good as far as like that's what it should be. It's like, yeah, why? But they're just showing like people are willing, people want the thing. Look at when I just post. People want the thing that's out of reach. It's like if I'm not supposed to have it, how come I can't have it? I'm gonna get it. Right? Think about that. Like you can have, right? You can eat from any tree in the garden. Just not that one on top of the table. Like I'm gonna get up there. Why can't I have that one? All these other ones are like, why? How come? And those ones up there are dumped over, right? So it's like you have two full ones at the bottom, fresh, but you want, right? We want to know what's up there. We want to know what's up there. We can't eat, can't sleep, can't breathe, even though we have 2 cups of clean water in front of me. Nope, nope. We gotta reach. We want it. So that's also, let me just, this also can represent, like I speak often metaphysic wise, like of, right, when people are like, knowledge is power, absolutely. But if I have understanding, again, that's exactly where I'm at, under the table. I still don't have knowledge that there's really just empty cups up here. But that's cool too. But right, and sometimes it's like, I want to see. So you get a booster shot, you get a few shots, you get to grow, then you get a booster seat, and what do you know? Then you can see over the table. My body lie over the ocean. overseers. Now I can see up there now, right? But then you could feel real big and tall. So now you want to sit at the big kid table. You want to sit at the big table. Now you're a king. So right, as above, so below. As above, so below. But there was 2 cups here that were necessary, right, to increase the flow of divinity and the building blocks. So sometimes after we make it to the top, right, we high jump, we get all the way up to the mountain, we get, right, whatever this references to you. We get up there, and then what? And sometimes we got to jump off. You got to be brave and just jump, dive. Because it's like, damn, I forgot I left something down there. I don't remember what it is, but it's there. Well, so right now we got to go get it. Think I have a knock at my door? Hold on, please, 1 sec. That knocking? He's exercising without me. That's so good. You already know and show appreciation. You already know whatever you're thinking or asking or thinking, or whatever you were just like as I walked away, something was just going through your mind, wasn't it? So we were talking about the table journey. Under the table and dreaming. The dreaming tree. And I love this card, the tiger. It's like right to, and truly I'm super grateful for every fucking moment. It's like, yo, everything's an experience so that we gain either insight or balance or clarity or growth or friendship, rest, knowledge at best. You know, wisdom is equivalent to timing. So if we're being run by the clock, we're it's like pecking, the pecking where we pick, which we had to do for a certain amount of time because we've been with right Big Daddy Saturn, the foster father of mine, of your right. We've been with the big foster father, watching all over us, like, and that's also archons. So it's like, think of like too, if you're a parent or other adults, it's like they have knowledge or awareness, or we have knowledge or awareness of our children. They do certain things, or we think we're getting away with something, and our parents are like, we already knew, but we weren't. It's like you pick your battles, and you want to allow your kids to have some room for growth. We don't want to tell them everything to do. We want them to have the ability to make a good conscious decision of when or when not to cross the road. And sometimes that right, we have to allow our children to fall, right? It's like running alongside them with training wheels. It's like we don't want to let go, but we have to. And if they fall, that's going to suck and they're going to cry, but they're going to be okay. They're going to get back up just like we did, right? Right? So we learn, like sometimes once we fall, right, then it's like, oh, well, last time I did that and I fell. So now we know not to do that. That's sometimes, right? That's how we learn to, it's like, we double. So however that experience is too, in some kind of, it's like, oh, well, I don't want to do that again. And sometimes it takes a while for that, right, habit or something that we're just learning. So it could be something we just learned. It could be something that's been passed down in our family through generations. So it's a behavioral habit. Like, like my family's famous for yelling. Like instead of like, hey, how are you? What's going on? Having like a normal conversation like a lot of normal people have. It's more, like people yell from like other parts of the house, or it's like they don't, it's just like, and they want you now. It's like as soon as they have an idea, it's like, hey, blah 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 blah. And you're just supposed to like, but if you're in a different place in your mind and in your, so this is where we get into sometimes energy harvesting or vampirism, or and it's just unawareness a lot of the time, again, of because again, we get a great idea, we all do that too. It's like, oh, we don't want to forget it, or we want to act upon it right now, or we want to share it, or we want it, right? We want something. We want. Now, does that make us bad? It's just the energy that's traveling through that but again, some are more dominant carriers of certain, right? We're all different. Like we all have different energies that we're dominant carriers of. So again, it doesn't make another person bad or right. It's like if they're very dominant in one area of life or in an energetic spectrum, right? In a specific energy or right, they hold that dominance of behavior and energetic, right? Because that's what makes them who they are. It's like we can't all do the same jobs, like right, we don't all have the same ability to perform and do the same thing. We just don't. That's why it's like so important to have awareness of who we actually are within our own skin. It's like, right, we want that to blossom, all the many beautiful multitude of things that you are. And you don't have to put like a label on it and be that and just right, like, or else, or somebody, hi, mwah, or somebody else is like, well, like we played the like before, like right, energetically, maybe I'm gonna use this one. And then I picked up the cards, right? I changed my mind. A lot of people give us a hard time if we've changed our mind, right? So, but we're allowed to change our mind. But this is why a lot of the time I won't answer people when they ask me a question or say, can I, will I, won't I, etc. Not because I'm trying to pull rein. It's just I'm aware that you're coming from a feeling of lack and you're wanting me to agree with something so that you feel better. It's like I just want to hug you and love you and never leave you and just make sure that you're gonna. So that's how our whole world has been run, on codependency due to immature emotion. But that's developed. Like, how does that develop? Like this is where we all have to really take, like, breaking down these things, chopping, right? El Chapo, chopping these things, chop, 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 chop. Like we're dicing up the mirepoix because we're about to cook some food, right? And onions, remember, like Shrek, onions have layers too. So it may be different layers than a human skin, but does that make them less worthy of going through them? I mean, think about that. Most people are looking at a lot of other people like Shrek or like whatever. And how long have they been? Like, right. So I don't, it's like, yo, everything is in existence here. And if those that don't have appreciation and gratitude and like respect, because there's really a very big lack of that. And then you all wonder why you're in the feeling of lack. It's because you lack respect, honor, and integrity for yourself. That's why you want everything from somebody else. And that's not, because when you guys are holding material things over our head or our families, physical beings, which is what you're all doing, because that's the only way you can fight us, is to try to threaten us with our family and our material, right? Like that's why you try to take everything, right? Oh, because we're spiritual beings, we don't need those things. So you keep trying to like, and or makes, but whatever, whatever. It's like, again, that just goes to show where you're coming from. The Red Bull trucks driving by, right? Dog will hunt, right? So being a bully and coming from that position, again, it's like, well, we're just going to send you all big hugs. Obviously you guys need, a lot of love that you've been lacking. And, but that doesn't mean that we're going to be the ones to come physically give it to you either. It's like you already, right, used, raped, molested us. So like I wouldn't go expecting, right, like a pregnancy. All these men are pregnant. They got grand expectations. We just go through it 9 months at a time. We let go of that shit with the menstrual cycle of the moon. The blood. says, think about it. Dreams. Somebody has some dreams. Pay attention to your dreams. I was like, it's like I dream right well, like how you see right now, right while I'm awake, like or so-called awake. Who's to say what's awake and while we're asleep? Because I know when I go to sleep, I'm busy, but I don't ever remember my dreams. Like barely ever. Like when I like physically go to sleep, like curl up in a ball and close my eyes and that sleep. It's like, damn. Sometimes I remember him barely, very rarely, very rarely, very rarely. I'm more a lucid dreamer or whatever you call it, like a, yeah, whatever. Daydreamer, daydreaming. And that's what too, like, right, as children, we got called things because of that, like, right, like, pay attention, da 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 da. But honestly, in order to comprehend all of these things, you have to come from a non-linear, that comes into context, of course. Like, so that's why it's like, it's funny to me, like, when so many are like, try to talk so much shit. It's like, well, obviously, we come up with scientific hypotheses as well and many different theories. That's why we, right, call ourselves without calling ourselves and labeling ourselves multidimensional, because there's so many multidimensional perspective of things. So you have to be open-minded and allow yourself to be able to see, not just try with your logic and your sense and like, well, this I think and feel that this might be this is, yeah, let's tear these apart and split these two and let's like dig over here and then like I know what might work. Well, you all like, yeah, yeah. And anyhow, too, let me just say this too. A lot of us are, because if there is infinite and immortality, right? Infinite life, immortality, infinite time and space. Time is infinite, space is infinite. We are infinite, multidimensional, spiritual beings, right? Multidimensional, yeah, I said it. Right, having a human experience, right? We've traveled many light years. We are the stars. So how many light years has it taken for us to develop into what we see in front of us now? A picture, right? The light, the what we're able to visibly see, the light and sound that's traveled throughout time and space, to then where we've right lived as human beings, right? In a so-called multicultural race. But if we're all human beings, that's one race of people. It's like the Bob Marley song. Ask for a sign and apologize. So maybe apologies due to your divine self-consciousness, you know, maybe to another, only apologize when you owe one. This again goes into checks and balances. What do we owe? What's due? Are we an asset or a liability, depending on where we're coming from, right? We are the assets and the resources. So if someone is imbalanced and like shooting himself up with like alien plastic, artificial intelligent DNA, and they're saying it's a vaccine to save you today, listen, most of the people, and I hate to be rude, but that have gotten sick or anything else, they've done some nasty shit in their past lifetimes or some other effect, or they just weren't listening to their inner voice and they decided to be Jacob fighting God, right? Like, and so there's something, or some relative in their family is a piece of fucking shit. And so, unfortunately, something, right? God did something in order for their family or for them, whatever they're having to experience is because they're having to experience it. Don't worry about it if it's not you, because it's not you. It's not for you. Stop getting so caught up in the okie dokie mainstream media where Jesus of Nazareth is out there fishing in the stream, the stream, fisher of men. They're out there fly fishing. Lord of the Flies. I know it sounds silly when I'm saying all these things, but like if you don't apply the silly, that's when it's like that's when you're gonna die. To the jungle. Welcome to the jungle. Oh, knees. Are you getting on your knees? Are you pointing at everybody else? And now again, it's like people, the many are going to disagree with what I'm saying or what have you, and that's fine. I don't really. It's like I'm not here to like. I don't need you to vote for me. I'm not looking for your vote. I want you to look inside yourself and have awareness where your vibration resonates, where your true north resonates. So it's like, right, I can't swim for you. If we're all swimming together, it's like I'm like, yo, you okay? Keep swimming. We're just swimming. You gotta swim. Yeah, please leave my page. I don't know what you're talking about. And if you're like, yeah, like trying to like troll over here with like sex comments that are like, it's like, yeah, you're in the wrong house, honey. Um, it's all good though. There's a place for you to grow. um, So yeah, I want you to know how you vibrate right inside. Many like I mean we can get funny with that too, right? Like that's actually right, like the sex trolls or Instagram hoes or whatever else, right? It's like, oh, 5 cent P word. What is this? Yeah, that's okay. You're like one of those that needs attention, right? It's good. We love you too. You could hang out if you want to keep blowing things up just to get attention. We're used to people like you. That's cool. Anyhow, yeah, tantra. Totally. Do you know what that means? Many have been using that kind of energy for a super long time, which again, like that's how the patriarch has been using, right? Shiva Shakti energy, which is sacred sexual energy too, like right now, right? Like lure, like oh, we were just talking about the fishing in the stream. Oh, like Delta variant. That just means female jinn. They hang out at the Delta, down at the Nile. The Nile. Um so again, yeah, it's like right in Beetlejuice and like he's like, yeah, hey baby. That's like all the Beetlegeist hoes. We had to make something for all them men, like, right? Show them where to go. But anyhow, again, that goes into if you look into like the Spartacus story or Bacchiatus and his nasty fucking over masturbating wife. It's like there's a beauty to sex and to tantra and all of these things, right? Um, yeah, where love is. And truly sexual like tantra sensuality. There is a meeting place where all these things do like erotica and esoteric and right all these things do come into play in together. However, a lot of people are using right that energy in a super negative way, and due to the nature and the violence that's going on with so many of us that still haven't right fully healed from that, not right or have awareness because it's still being bombarded upon and no one's been fed actual true self-love. It's all gimmick and quick temporary instant gratification and satisfaction, and then that's why everybody's lost and looking for more, which is that's why it's definitely semi-source subject, not sore subject, but it's like grabbing the root and snapping the wheat. It's like having somebody reach in and snap you. Um, Super cool. I don't know many words in Italian, beauty. I know ciao bella. Oui, oui. No, that's French. Anyway. Um, so yeah, see, like, and I don't mind being caught off topic and it's no off topic. Again, everybody got a purpose. So it's just at what point do people get sick and tired of being like, great, either because muscles, beauty, like great lavish lifestyle only lasts for a certain amount of time, and then it's like gambling. It always goes back to the house. Ciao, Bella. Yeah, right. So, like in the casino or anything else, everything goes back to the house. Anything that gets made with man's hand gets recycled throughout all of our vibration and somehow gets reincarnated, recycled, rebirth, something, right, throughout the land. So anyhow, it's just a matter of all of that. Yeah, this has been a zing 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 reading and a lot of fun. Absolutely. Mother Nature's best medicine. It works with our body, right? We're like a tree too. So that's why cannabis works so well with, right, me and you as a people. And not for everybody. Some may have different, right? Different it's like, does a fish have the same diet as a bird, have the same diet as a cat, as a right domestic cat, as a tiger, as a dog, as a wolf, as a frog, right? Different. So when we have all these different species of beings, mixtures of species walking around as a human being, we're not all wearing the same pair of shoes, right? We're not all wearing the same, we don't all have the same things that we need to nurture and build upon within, right? The experiences that we need to have or go through in order to, create balance and have some kind of conscious awareness of, how it is and what we do, right? Um, and having fun's a big part of that. So make sure that you giggle and laugh because that's a huge part of healing too. I'm about to lose my battery, so I'm about to go. I think I keep highlighting your. Am I highlighting your? I am. I barely heard anybody ever. So thanks, Gabriel. Thanks for coming to hang out. And it's important that we do as a people speak all those things too. Sex and slavery have been hand in hand for a long, long time, right? First job, after all, is prostitution. But that word comes up just like think of the words, say Santa, God, Satan, heaven, right? When you think of those words, what pops up in the mind's eye? Right. So what comes up in our mind's eye, isn't necessarily the truth of, right, the it's like we could correlate, it's like, oh, funny, nasty, ha ha ha, and then, right, there's a lot more meanings to everything. So allowing it to, right, come back down, because heaven is heavenly, but it's fantasy island, right? You ever see the movie Pinocchio? And all them boys thought they were so cool. Like, they're like, come on, you get money, you get to hang out, smoke, be cool, right? But then they all started growing ears and tails. Hee-haw, 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 I like it raw, right? Hee-haw. So gotta be careful where you think you're so cool. 11-11. But mama didn't raise no fool. So anyhow, but again, yeah, things are important to be discussed because the more we discuss them all and get over a lot of the uncomfortable conversations, feelings, thoughts, again, the first interpretation that come up and the picture in our mind that we see, which isn't necessarily, again, what it's meant to be, right? So think about that for a second, right? Heaven, right? It's like is like it's good and great to have ideas, right? That's why, Lord, let us make in the image of. Okay, so that's a lot of, right? Plagiarism. Let's copy what they did and make another one of it. Doppelgangers. Stealing others' thoughts and ideas. Husbands, wives, families, children. No nice. And that's been going on for a very long time, right? So, and then of course now those people are acting like they care and that they have some kind of information that you don't, right? That they're calling, right? The V word everywhere, which is because that's also part of like the biblical terms that we've all already heard and learned. It just is, right? Again, Adam is sleeping. That's the dormant virus, the atom. So as we're passing through we're being awoken by different asteroids, different rocks. Asteroids are feminine rocks of, right, in the womb of Gaia. It's kind of like the rocks in the ovaries of Gaia. So should a physical man be sending out, right, metal material that they, right, charged all the people taxes for? We only pay taxes if we're in war. So anybody that's, right, getting paid at a job and paying them, right, you support that's the war support. And whatever, it's like we all work there, and people be like, whatever. Okay, well, every time everybody say whatever, right, it's like they're like, you're saying you don't care. You're letting them steal money right out of your pocket, but you're telling me that you care about your abundance. So you're not making any sense. So ha 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 ha. It's like whatever. That's ridiculous to me. But anyway, it's like eventually, again, after one stops being drunk and addicted to the fucking heroin and the poppy and the, right, and that's just hypothetically, and the gambling that they've been doing and the sex and trying to get attention for all of it, right? Plus interest. Everybody wants thumbs up. Woo! Thumbs up. They want lots of likes, lots of licks. Again, it's just children that have been raising children for so long. That's what the sin of, right, Eve is. Adam and Eve, or whatever, all that. Yeah, please stop putting nasty comments out, or like, yeah, because it's an intrusion and I already asked you to stop. So that's the final time I'm asking, Gabriel. And then I'm going to block your ass. So stop. Kindly. So yeah, having little children, again, that want to keep interrupting, it's like wanting to interrupt class, be a bully, be a pest. It's okay. It's like, we love you too, because, I love the islands of misfits. Truly. Truly, we do. Because I'm from there too. It's like we're all perfectly imperfect. But Yeah, it's like when we say no or we ask the police stop and someone's disrespecting that, it's like, all right, well, now this is why we've had to get like principals and big bouncer bodyguards and cops. Because when we say no, you guys don't take no as an answer. You feel that you then have a right to retaliate and get us back or make up a story or say you did something with us that you didn't do because now you don't feel cool and you want to look cool in front of your friends and whatever have you. Right, that's like when we're in high school or elementary school, and like, right, if you have a crush, and that's just, this is the same things that are happening. If you look at the formula, the mathematical equation of the things I'm saying, and then apply it to, do you know any walks of life and things that I've been, say, part of or gotten to like experience, and like some such high end, so to speak, of like, right, where it's like you think that these people would like have respect and like integrity and honor and like, but it's so fake, it's so fake, and they really don't have a clue. And then once you really get to know some of them, even beings, again, like say doctors and beings that have your so-called best interest at heart, so right, they, you know, because they've gone to school and they have XYZ, so people respect them and etc. But when we start asking questions, their answers are like, or they don't have one, or they deflect and avoid, or they repeat something that some, they fucking do that repeat shit, and it's like, did you just quote something from the TV show House? Have you been or whatever? So yeah, right, copycats. Anyhow, all right. I think that yo, I do have to pull a rune though, because it is Thursday. So let's pull a rune to end the reading. And so appreciate you guys coming to hang out and what have you. You know, please like, subscribe, hit the bell, share, you know, comment. You know, again, it's like, I'm grown, so it's like that. You know, the trolls and the dudes, the whatever bots, girls and guys that come on with their you know, it's like always has to be that. So it's like whatever. I've been a mom for a long time and many other things, so it's like whatever. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that it's like we're tired, guys, as moms, and also we want to, yeah, right. Girls just want to have fun. We don't just want to be taking care of everybody. Yeah, we want freedom. We want to be free. We're not your ABC 1, 2, 3 and XYZ, and then, you know, it's just another apple off the old apple tray. Yeah, get the fuck away from me. You know where to find apples. Eve's in the garden wandering around looking for more dick. Or she wants one of her own. Or I don't know. Whatever that all is. Okay. I don't know. The over emotional. And again, that is very just generally speaking. So moon energy. Interesting. It's like very there's a manga deck. So yeah, at the bottom of the deck, 2 pentacles, balancing. Or somebody trying to fuck with shit. It's like, yeah. Oh, that made me think right away. Look at the 2 ships back there. It's like, yeah, again, like supply and demand. Yeah, let's hold everything on the water and then we can inflate the prices on the land. And then, and they make like, no, that's not why it's happening. It's because there's not enough workers. Bullshit. Give me a fucking break. Coming up with it always has an excuse. They always have an excuse to try to make it look like it's some other fucking thing. They're doing it on purpose. It's like, again, I just took something from you and now I'm going to hold it from you. And I'm like, no, I didn't. After you get to the principal's office, like we were just saying before. So it's like, Well, we caught you on camera because water's always recording. So we don't really want to hear your story because it's a waste of our time and energy. No mo, no mo. So right, once we get to gee, where's my hold on, bear with me a sec. Um the runes. The runes. We're just gonna end the reading with the rune. And again, thank you so much for coming out. Dang it. Whoop. I like dropped it and it jumped and everything. Is this for movement? Oh, and bees and cows, milk and honey. Now, certain things too, right, have to be, yeah, we're gonna do some deep shit here. So, but anyhow, right, the land of bees and honey, milk and honey, Lord of the Flies. Where's my bookie book? Soul Trap. I have a really cool book too. I would like to read. Ewas. Yeah, movement. Horse associated with the course of the sun. Yeah, that's funny because 1122. I was gonna say I have a book I wanted to share, and the book is The Black Sun. And then we just pulled the horse and the sun, which is again, those are the two, right? Anu and Adam. The gin and the flesh. Blobby. And boop. Holy Ghost, how were you? All right. They're laughing. All right, it's number 17. You know, there's a lot of right. Spirit is like great. It's like hanging out with sometimes your old grandmama and like ancestors like at a old, and they're telling you some old stories like from back in the day, and they really do have a sense of humor. Just so you're aware, like if you so like who wants you to be all like, oh, it's always gonna be like that. I did have a grandma that was like that, and I respect and love her very much. Like I don't know, really trying to think now. Always sweet, never sweat. I mean, like you would never want to say a bad word in front of her. It made you feel awful if you did. It's like you were like, because she didn't do that, so it's like you just didn't, you know. But at the same level, right? It's like we want to see people happy and giggle and not have to be something perfect all the time for somebody else. But it's not like she did that. I don't feel like it's like just how she was. She just was. Yeah, she was awesome. The nanas and the grandmas, right? So that's coming through. And we got the horse and the sun and the big movement. Okay. So Ewas. Ewas is a rune of transit, transition, and movement, of physical shifts, now dwelling places, new attitudes, or new life. It also signifies movement in the sense of improving or bettering any situation. Whoop, whoop. There is about this ruin, there is about this rune a sense of gradual development and steady progress. with the accompanying notion of slow growth through numerous shifts and changes. This could apply to the growth of a business or to the development of an idea. A relation, right? And those are birthing things. Like, how many ways do we birth things? How many ways do we create? Not just allow ourselves to be a raw piece of meat for another being or so-called God. If you're worshiping one or calling upon one, you need to be very, very careful, because you may not be speaking with or talking to who you think you are. That's why it's like, keep it simple. Ask for clarity. Ask for the right thing to be given to you. Ask for a sign. And you'll see or feel something, or, right, either within yourself in the dark, you'll feel it or see it in your mind, or you'll eventually, right, then just let it go. And then something will occur, and then you'll know. I'm looking at my picture, let it snow. Right? Just ask for it, right? Ask for clarity to be brought in all things that don't need to be there to be let go. So then you could see more clearly, and then you'll have more awareness. Then you'll know next, not then you're going to know the answer. No, then you're going to know next, right, the next move. It's like a game of chess or any other game that you, right, do or don't play. Right? You take turns, or right, or you're playing one player and you die and you start again. Right. Okay. As an example. All right. So a relationship may need to undergo changes if it is to live and grow. Okay. Remember before express yourself came out, and friendship. So maybe it has to be within yourself. Maybe it does have to be with an employer, or maybe you have to leave a job, maybe some with family, right? Again, this is being true to you so that you can grow into who you need to grow into, which can be very hard and scary once we make that decision and feel that, where there's no turning back. It's like you're pregnant and you can't go out and drink anymore and like hang out as much like how you used to. Almost said as much. I mean, it's like you still go hang out. You can't go, like, you can't do what you used to do though. You have to worry now. Your focus is going to shift. So it's okay. That's just going through change, and most of us are afraid of precisely that, right? Like change. Pardon me, one sec. I'm in the shower, so I'm gonna leave. Okay. Yeah, later. Thank you so much. Sorry. Hmm. Okay. So yeah, a relationship may need to undergo changes if it is to live and grow. Moral effort and steadfastness are called for when you draw movement. Another of the cycle runes, right? So moral effort and steadfastness, just what we were just talking about. And that's how you build Solomon's temple. Remember, that has to be built without tools, without man's hands, right? It has to be born from within, like the crystal caves of King Arthur, right? Just different stories to relate to. So, and right, so that we can do what we need to do within moral growth. Moral effort and steadfastness are called for when you draw movement. Another of the cycle ruins. Let it be said this way: as I cultivate my own nature, all else follows. That's so good. As I cultivate my own nature, all else follows. Right? You have to tend to your own garden, right? No roots, no fruit. We have to nurture our inner tree. No fire without wood. This rune symbol is the horse, and it signifies the bond between horse and rider. So cool. Bronze Age artifacts show a horse drawing the sun across the sky. Here, Awaz is saying, you have progressed far enough to feel a measure of safety in your position. Now it is time to turn again and face the future reassured. Prepare to share the good fortune that comes your way. Yay! I believe that. I can feel it. Because our health is our wealth, and abundance comes in all forms. And it's like to share and be wealthy and care. That's how that works. So like if I'm selfish and only take for me, then that doesn't work. And then that's not for me or anybody, right? It's like it's not like, oh, I do want everybody to be able to thrive. Yeah, have the ability to have what they need. Yeah, if I wish for anything, that's a wish for me. Wholeheartedly. Okay, so now it is time to turn again and face the future, reassured, prepared to share the good fortune that comes your way. The sharing is significant since it relates to the sun's power to foster. We're just talking about that foster father Saturn. Santa Claus he does exist. And what the hell's today's date? December 8th, 9, 10, 11. Nereus has Old Man of the Sea. The sea, where's the sea? Not the ocean, where's the sea? He knows when you were sleeping. He knows when you're awake. Bad Santa. The sharing is significant since it relates to the sun's power to foster life. I'm drooling. And illuminate all things with its light. I can't. And then this had come out before too. And it's just still sitting here. The rest of them I had are not. But so share your wisdom with others. Shine your light. Again, right? It's like, right? So really do your inner work. Okay? A deep secret will come to light. And the reason this was called Take Action was due to the nature of I can't get no. Just kidding. Satisfaction. Well, that's true though. Because if you want something, we're never going to be satisfied. Or if we're given everything, how are we going to be satisfied? And what is an action? An action is a thought. A thought is an action. A thought is a hoe. Ho, ho, ho. Who would it go? Up on the housetop. Click, click, click. Like a remote. Oh, brother. Click, 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 click. Down through the chimney, good Saint Nick. Old Saint Nick. Oh, no. All right. Well, anyhow, yo, I appreciate you coming and hanging out. 144.04 on the nose. So good. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. And all our little piggies and toes. Five Finger Death Punch. You know that band? Me and my friend were listening to them last night. Super good band. And also, what's their name? Is it Black Label Society? They sing a song called The River, and Suicide Messiah I liked. So those songs are coming up. So yeah, lots of messages in the music. Listen to the Tool song, Tool, The Pot, Tool, 46 and 2, Tool, Right in 2. Watch those videos. Anabala. Is it Anabala? So yeah, I'm gonna listen to some tunes and replenish my physical body with a little bit of food and some tea, and see how Uncle Papa Joe's doing. And then I'm gonna pop back on and do a video regarding the Delta, what that word means. Delta Airlines. So we're gonna break that down and go through some of the definitions we find and have a little fun with it so that we can expand our Jupiterian minds. And yeah, and that's it. Just expand shit like a breath. We don't have to be right or wrong. We're just going to have some fun. So if you like me, if you would like to join me for that as well, ring the bell. I'll be back. So I'll see you then. All right. Please like, subscribe, and hit the bell. And one love, just keep swimming. And never can tell. Don't try to do your best to let go of many things. The more we let go, and that's thoughts and feelings, mostly. Start there. The feelings of anxiety, breathe through both ways, okay? With care, right? TLC, tender loving care. Embody ancient wisdom, and Merlin awaits. So that's some Thor energy and some like King Arthur I just mentioned. Here comes Merlin popping up. And Merlin was born from an incubus and a mortal man or mortal human. So I have to do more research on that too, like, so I speak more intelligent, because I don't have full, none of us have full access. Again, that's what makes this fun too, so don't let other people are like, oh, you think whatever. No, they've just been holding on to beliefs for a very long time, so they're gonna argue with us because they're the ones that are trying to be dominant and right, because they already made a deal. And right, nope, that's the way it is. They already said that that's the way it is. That's the way it is. That's just the way it is. Right. So of course they're going to get frustrated and start to spit things out and try to make people feel like they don't have enough time to get something done, or that we're going to run out of supplies or something. And if you really think about this, everybody's racing, right? Racing to go grab a shot, get a shot, party, get a ticket. Is that what you need? I mean, really, truly think about that question I'm saying. How does our bodies work? Look into the past of vaccinations and what they've done to our people and our bodies. Ask healthcare providers, do they test these things to see what they do later in life to the human body, the cause and effect? Because once you agree to it, it's like, you decided to have sex with the devil. You decided to fuck the devil. You decided to listen to fear and, right, not be clear. Purify your surroundings. Transmutation and the return of the Tuatha De Danann. So we got some sage, or maybe take a nice bath with a little bit of baking soda. light a candle, listen to some music, make a bracelet or something, draw a picture, write a poem, put some instrumental music on, and put your own words, make up your own words, make up your own song. Do something creative and fun, right? Cut out things from a magazine and make a collage, right? It's like, why did we have a shutdown? Was it to, I mean, part of it was, again, it's like, right, what does Delta mean? It's, right, the difference or the change between two things. So what did we all learn? Did we remember parts of who we were? It's like, well, certain things, it's like, I still want to work. I still want, like, we still like to do a lot of things, and like, it's part of who we all are as a people. But what, as a people, do we need to let go of, or do we need to not continue? Or do we have to keep racing to the future to be the best, fastest, quickest, like, etc.? Shift happens. Shifts happen. Stabilize your energy fields. Divine intervention. Big time. Big time. Remember in Pulp Fiction? Say what? One more time, and this fell. Return from the underworld. Engage life. Journey to the halls of Osiris. Osiris virus? So once you make it to the afterlife, because right, heaven is a state of mind. Right? The terms of the word, like devil, we're walking around in physical skin with, right, feelings of lust, gluttony, and gut instinct. Right, that'll override intuition. And right, it's like, it's like the father and son going out to play, or brothers going out to play, instead of, right, y'all know what I'm talking about, boys. You're like, we're leaving, we're going out to play, we're going to camp, we're going to whatever, right? Going to hunting, going to drinking, going to fucking, going to do something. Right? Right. Which, again, part of us too. So this isn't about, like, doesn't matter what gender you are, as far as, right, these are different feelings and thoughts and, like, behaviors that we all carry or go through, or so, like, have fun with them, and be playful, because it's like, can't we play all those parts at different times? Depends, like, what mood we're in, it's like, well, sometimes I can act like that, I can totally feel that way sometimes I, like, right, so taking a look at ourselves and being able to paradox, just, again, be a little more lighthearted, giggle at ourselves, not be quite so stiff and judgmental, and like, bad, I'm so bad, or I'm so stupid, or I just want that and I want it now, or, right, letting desire rule you. Careful about letting desire, the gut, the digestive system, be your ruler, with your your Adams and Eves that you just let go flying like flying monkeys all over the place, right? That's what we all do, but, like, right, just like, so bring that back into context, because you want to become a master twin flame alchemist, 1144, right? That's where we bring those things back in. It's like, whoa, right? We don't allow Cain and Abel to keep running the show. We bring them back in, and it's like, you're going to clean your hands, wash your hands, sit nicely, and learn some morals, like we just read in Movement, about moral effort and steadfastness. So this is about building a young buck into a man. Right? Jacob fighting Israel in an aluminum can, lightning in a bottle. Mars, right? Energy shoots out. So yeah. Oh, we got turquoise and black tourmaline. Very cool. We're number one. So probably I would do a little research, look up anything that sticks out to you that you're gravitated toward, that magnetically is, like, feels like it's hanging around you a little bit, lingering. Did you have to let it linger? And turquoise came up earlier today too. That's so cool. It makes me think of my mommy. 9, 10, 11, 12, right? 39, 1. And we have Peridot, 14, Osiris number. And we pulled Halls of Osiris. And then, yeah, right, the seals of O'Solomon. The seals of O'Solomon. Interesting. What are seals? Is it something like a door of seal, or could it actually be like the seals? Like, you ever see what a seal does? How they're like, they bat their little eyes and they try to look all like doe-deery. little on the prowl. So anyhow, I'm gonna go now. I appreciate you. Thank you again for hanging out. Peace, tribe. Later. As we fall, we all fall down.